Yes, you guys, welcome back. Tomorrow at 7:45 PM UK time, we kickstart our new adventures in this season's Carabao Cup. Now, if I'm going to keep things real with you guys, I used to remember the time back in the day where we used to be synonymous with the Carabao Cup, the Carling Cup, call it whatever you want. But recently, it has been evading us for a very long time. I mean, the last time we got to the final was under Sarri's season where we lost in that penalty shootout against Man City. The last time we won this tournament was back in 2015 when Kurt Zouma was playing as a DM against Tottenham and we beat them 2-0. So for me personally, I would like to see us win the Carabao Cup again. And for me, this is an amazing opportunity now for squad players to really show Tuchel what they're about, what they can do, and of course to make Tuchel keep having that faith and trust in them. Of course, this weekend we have a must-win game against Man City. For me, if we beat Man City, the statement we are putting out there is just going to be, it's going to just destroy the Premier League. Let's keep things real. So due to this, we are going to have to rotate. We could see game time for Hudson-Odoi, for Timo Werner, for players like Loftus-Cheek, for players like Ben Joel as well, plus many more. And tomorrow night, I think some of these guys have to step up and show what they're about. We now turn our attentions to our opponents in Aston Villa. Now, I'm expecting rotation from Villa. They have a few injury concerns. We may not see Leon Bailey in tomorrow's game, which is, always going to be great news to hear. But since we beat them last week 3-0, they bounced back in very good fashion, just demolishing Everton 3-0. And in that 3-0 defeat against us, the Aston Villa players and squad, they felt kind of aggrieved. They felt like, their performance, the way they played, they definitely deserved a lot more from the game. They created quite a few opportunities against us. So you can imagine in tomorrow's game, they're going to come back with, even greater confidence and belief to right those wrongs from last week. So tomorrow, you guys, we need to see a top performance. We have to see the players ready to compete, ready to fight, and we need to hope we get a positive win so we can take that confidence forward to the game this weekend against Man City. In today's match preview, guys, I'm going to break down Tuchel's press conference. I'm going to go through the predicted lineups and I'm going to give my predictions right at the end as well, so I hope you guys definitely do enjoy. So without wasting any more time, I want to get one big plug out of the way first. I want to give a massive shout out to OneFootball for sponsoring Blue Lions CV. I've got to be real, you guys, if you have still yet not downloaded OneFootball, what are you waiting for? It really is the perfect footballing hub to have in your phone, and honestly, the amazing follow feature for me is what makes it so handy. Of course, if you're interested in any clubs or players of your choosing, it essentially acts as like that tag feature which allows you to get the daily updates surrounding the players or club you're choosing. Honestly, it's such a time saver, it's so convenient, and it's just one small example of all the many handy features that they have on OneFootball. So what you guys are waiting for, not only does it help support the channel, but it also helps you out as well. So if you guys are interested, you'll find a link below in the description. Now, we start things off with the press conference, and to kick things off, you guys, we've got some confirmation surrounding Edouard Mendy. Now, as Tuchel stressed, he won't be taking any part in tomorrow's game. However, there are hopes that Mendy will come back fit in time for this weekend's game against Man City. So let's hope, fingers crossed, that he's fine, because, he's one of the best keepers in the world, and you need to have a guy like this behind your defence. But speaking of our defence, one defender in particular who just stood out and continues to just show his class eternally is Thiago Silva. Naturally, after his colossal performance against Tottenham, the press had to speak about him. And I thought Tuchel's words on Thiago were very nice and very respectful. As Tuchel really stressed, Thiago is an absolute professional. The way he manages his body, the way he looks after himself, the way he trains. He constantly trains with intensity every single time. He doesn't give up. And as Tuchel actually said, Thiago actually does get better every single time. Tuchel doesn't see his age whatsoever. He's an, ridiculous professional. And I'm always saying this, but I am so grateful and lucky that Thiago decided to sign and come to us, because for me, he's one of the best defenders of this generation, or the past 2 generations easily. You know what? Yeah, unlike one of them hypothetical ones, if he was here for just like a handful of more seasons than he has already for us, for me, there would be talks that he gets into our all-time 11 because he really is that good. But anyway, you guys, we do move on, and we're now going to discuss Timo Werner and Ruben Loftus-Cheek, because there's big possibilities that both players will get minutes or even start the game against Aston Villa. Tuchel had a lot of very positive things to say about Ruben. He stressed that in training, Ruben works extremely well, and Tuchel said that against Zenit, That was one of the main reasons as to why he got those final few minutes at the end. They weren't just token minutes, but it was minutes to acknowledge the good work that Ruben's done. So as Tuchel stressed, there is a massive possibility that Ruben does start in tomorrow's game, and of course it's the same thing for Timo. Tuchel did say that he didn't start the season too well, however he has improved recently, and one of the reasons why he did get more minutes coming off the bench against Tottenham was due to how he's been training better recently these past few days, you guys. So, you know, let's see what happens. I do think we will have to rely upon Werner. I think that we can't just exclusively hope that Lukaku will be like fully fit throughout the entire season. The other players have to show what they can do. So right now, we end the press conference and we discuss Marcos Alonso and Tuchel's thoughts on Alonso's recent comments. Now, we all know what Alonso was saying recently. We all know that Alonso currently isn't really supporting the fist in the air gesture to combat racism. In his opinion, he feels like it's become a bit empty. It's become a bit hollow right now. It doesn't mean anything, and it's kind of losing its effectiveness. You know, there's better ways to tackle the problem against racism. There's even better solutions to show your support as well. You know, it's served its course. It's done what it's supposed to do. And as Tuchel stressed, listen, Alonso is 30 years old. He's his own grown man. He can do what he wants. And, you know, that's a manager that respects not only the player, but the individual as well. So you guys in the comments, give your thoughts and opinions behind that. Do you agree with Marcos Alonso? Do you disagree? Let us know below. And without wasting any more time, we get straight into the predicted lineup. Now this time, I'm only going to focus on 2 predicted lineups. As you guys can see with the first one, I've gone for Werner and Lukaku up front. I've gone for Ziyech and behind. In midfield, I've gone for George and Saul, James and Ben Chilwell as the wing backs, and of course in defence, Trevor Chalobah, Christensen, Rudiger, and Kepa in goal. Now, my reason behind this lineup is that, okay, this isn't my personal lineup. This is a lineup that I'm guessing Tuchel could potentially look towards. We do know that Werner and Lukaku, this is a great opportunity to see both of these guys playing up front together. We've seen glimpses of this in the second half of games, but I think now is the time to give them the game time now to really see what they can do together. Of course, Saul had a very poor debut, but Tuchel supports the player. He's backing him. And again, there's an opportunity for Saul to show that his debut was a blip and there's a lot more to come from the players. So we will find out, we will see you guys. Of course, I think maybe one player that maybe we're all hoping definitely gets minutes from the field today is none other than Ben Chilwell. You know, he has had some difficulties and, you know, I'm going to keep things real. I don't know what it's like to be like a professional of any kind that, like, you know, the very, very best in their fields, in their career, especially when it comes to sports. Whatever Ben's going through, if it's like maybe, I don't know, to be fair. We haven't got too much information, or Tuchel said that maybe there was some mental fatigue after the Euros and after last season as well. I don't know what that implies, but you know, I'm guessing it must be serious if Tuchel is basically putting his arm around him. So maybe getting some minutes tomorrow could help him, you know, just awaken again and obviously show what he can do. So right now, we end things with the second predicted lineup. And I think this is definitely a lineup the streets will like to see. Now, of course, this is very ambitious. Up front, Timo Werner. Supporting him, Hudson-Odoi, Ruben Loftus-Cheek. In midfield, Saul. In midfield, Jorginho. Wing backs, we're seeing James, we're seeing Ben, and of course, the same defense as the first predicted lineup. A lot of this is coming down to just taking a guess, a very big gamble. Of course, there were many positive words used towards Werner and Ruben, which maybe gives me some slight hope that both players will be playing tomorrow. Of course, in the case of Hudson-Odoi, I think realistically, if he was to play, he'd likely get minutes as a wing back. But, you know, a part of me feels, okay, Tuchel will most definitely understand the position that Callum's in. Tuchel knows that Callum wanted to leave the side for Dortmund. And I guess it comes down to giving him those fair opportunities at times to show what he can do playing in his best position. I think tomorrow there is an opportunity for Tuchel to give Callum some minutes down the left wing, because for me, that is his best position by far. And yeah, you guys, they are the predicted lineups I'm seeing. If you guys disagree, I'm sure you're going to let me know in the comments regardless. And if you guys think your team's better, of course, make sure you comment below. So we now end things with the final thing, and that is the match prediction. And my prediction for tomorrow is a 3-1 win for us. Now, you know, I'm giving Aston Villa a goal. You know, they definitely put in a good performance against us in the first game. And I'd imagine that now they just beat Everton. You know, they're feeling very pumped, very confident. They'll give us the game again tomorrow. But I just think with how games have tended to work in our favour recently, you know, these teams press us high in the first half. They went out of steam in the second half. The space is open a lot more. And with our possessional play as well, you know, we just kind of just like magnify the threat we create and cause against teams. So, you know, maybe Aston Villa, for their hard efforts tomorrow, could get a goal for that, but I'm expecting us to maybe wrap up this game even more when it gets to the second half. So there you guys have it. I want to see a confident win tomorrow and in preparation, anticipation for that game against Man City. And on that note, I'm in EFC. This is Blue Lions TV. I'll catch you guys later for some more videos. Cool.